Hello everyone, in this video we're going to do a review of addition of fractions. Let's start really easy with 3/8 plus 1/8. What we need to realize is we need to look at how these pieces are cut, and in this case our denominator are the same, they're both eighths, so our pieces are both cut into the same sizes, and if that's the case we can just go from there and combine our numerators. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and our denominator stays the same because it tells us the size of our pieces. So 3/8 plus 1/8 is 4/8, and if we wanted to simplify that, 4/8 also equals 1/2. So the key here is, again, to realize that our denominators are identical. The next situation we're going to look at is 4/9 plus 11/12. And again, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to check my denominator. Here, these are cut into ninths, and these are cut into twelfths. That's not the same pieces, so we can't combine them. So what we need to do in this case is find a common denominator. The least common denominator is usually the best. It just takes away some steps in the end. You can find any common denominator, but we're going to focus on the least common denominator. Another name for least common denominator is least common multiple. And there's a couple of ways that we can go about finding the least common multiple. The first way is to list the multiples of each number. So if I have 9, if I want, I can make a little chart, little T-chart if you'd like. And my multiples of 9, 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2, 18. 9 times 3, 27. 9 times 4, 36. 9 times 5, 45. I'll stop there because I have a nice group of multiples. 12, I'm going to do 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. And I can stop there because at this point I have found a common multiple. And that common multiple is 36. So that is our least common denominator and also our least common multiple. Another way to find the least common multiple is the ladder method, and this is a little bit quicker and more direct. So to do the ladder method, I have 9. Oops, let me change my color. I have 9 and 12, and I'm going to think of a number that is a common factor between both of them, and that's 3. 3 times 3 gives us 9, and 3 times 4 gives us 12. I can't continue my ladder anymore because there is no other common factor between 3 and 4. I'm looking to find the least common multiple, so I'm going to make my L and multiply those three numbers. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 4 will give us our 36. My next step is to find equivalent fractions for 4/9 to 36 and also for 11/12 with a new denominator of 36. You have to determine, I'm going to look at my denominator, 9 times what gave us 36? 9 times 4 gave us 36. So I multiplied that by 4. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. What I'm really doing is multiplying by 4/4, which is 1, so my value doesn't change. So now 4 times 4 will give us 16. And now I'm going to go over to the next fraction, and what did I multiply 12 by to get 36? Well, I multiplied by 3. So therefore, I have to multiply my numerator by 3, and I will get 33. Now to finish off the problem, I'm going to add my numerators. 16 plus 33 gives us 49, and my denominator is going to be 36. I then can change that into a mixed number if I'd like. Let's Let's take a look at another problem. In this case, I'm adding 5/6 plus 7/8. This time I wrote it vertically. I actually prefer to write it vertically because you can see the equivalent fractions a little bit easier this way. So my first thing to look at is my denominators, and I have two different denominators, so I need to find a common denominator or my least common multiple. I'm going to go off to the side and do my ladder method. And 6 and 8, I can take a factor of 2 out, and that gives me 2 times 3 gives me 6, and 2 times 4 gives me 8. And then I'm going to multiply my outside numbers, and I'm going to get 24. So 24 is going to be my common denominator. So I'm going to put an equal sign up here and put a 24. And now I have a little equivalent fraction problem. 6 times what number gave me 24? Well, 6 times 4. So therefore, I'm multiplying that by 4. So I'm going to multiply my top by 4. And I'm going to get 20 from, from my numerator. And the bottom, again, I have 24. And 8 times what gave me 24? Well, 8 times 3. So I'm going to multiply my top by 3. And I'm going to get 21. Again, these fractions are equivalent. 7/8 is the same thing, same amount as 21 24ths. Now I'm going to add how many pieces I have. I have 20 pieces on top, 21 pieces on the bottom. So I have 41 pieces, and those pieces are 24ths. If I choose to express that number as a mixed fraction, 24 goes into 41 one time. I have 17 pieces left over, and those pieces are 24ths. To review, step 1, check the denominators. If they're the same, all you need to do is add the numerators and keep the same denominator. Step 2, if the denominators are different, find a common denominator or the least common multiple. Step 3, find equivalent fractions with the new denominator. Step 4, add the numerators and bring across the denominator.